I built my first ever keyboard, and it is this one right here, the Mode Sonnet. Absolutely amazing, it's really heavy, it sounds great, and it is built perfectly. However, there is one big downside, and that is it is pricey. So let's jump into whether or not this is worth it for you, and what I experienced with this being my first ever build. So for myself, I ended up going for the Mode Sonnet because I'd seen plenty of other videos talking about this keyboard and talking very highly of this thing, and talking about more particularly how it sounds incredible, how its build quality is superb, and just how its look is really sleek and minimal. And I couldn't agree more. This thing is absolutely perfect for me. It fits my style perfectly, which is basically just minimal and just clean. That's how I want to go for things, even though my desk might tell you the opposite sometimes, but it isn't the case that it's always like this. Now, in terms of it, I'm going to give you a quick rundown as to what is actually inside this keyboard and on the outside of this keyboard. So like I said, it's the Mode Sonnet keyboard, so you're going to have to choose the Mode Sonnet kit on their website. Again, these things are pricey, so for example, on a discounted rate, this cost me $379, so it was originally $414. Then I ended up going for the anthracite, I believe that's how you pronounce it. Let me know if I'm correct or not. Keycaps, which is where you get the nice white, grey, and darker colours on the keycaps. For me, I absolutely love this. It looks amazing, looks so clean, and honestly, I would probably go for like an all-white eventually, but I'm going to have a look around and mess around with actually checking out other things in the future, modding this thing, messing around with future keycaps, and the interior of the device. Then on top of that, we have the Tomorrow tactile switches. Again, I don't know necessarily what you would compare these to, so there is probably someone who knows, so let me know down below if you do, but honestly, these things do sound really nice. I'd say they have a similar sound to something like the Cherry MX Brown switches, I believe they're called. I'm not 100% sure, I'll double check on that. They sound similar, in the same vein as something like my Keychron Q1, for example. It sounds pretty similar to something like that, so you never know. But then we also have the Mode stabilizers and the Sonnet foam. It comes with a load of different things, and talking about what it comes with, we need to go over the actual packaging of this thing. You feel like you have actually bought a luxury product, which obviously for the price is to be expected. You should be feeling as if you've paid for something worth the money. Now, for one, it felt so heavy. I was really surprised by how dense this thing was. I completely forgot. For one, you've got the brass bar that goes along the top of it, which is fairly heavy in itself, but then at the bottom you've got the golden plate, which isn't overly heavy. What's really heavy is the actual weight that goes in it, and that thing, I don't know if it's made out of anything in particular. It looks like it's gold, but obviously I doubt that it is actually a solid chunk of gold. Probably worth some money if it was. Everything about this product, from the weights all the way through to the just minimal designs and the little brass accent, makes this thing feel like luxury. Something that I've mentioned in my iPhone video before is that I always feel like when the iPhone was weighty, so with the iPhone 13 Pro for example, it felt like you were holding a piece of luxury goods, whereas the 15s and the 15 Pros, they don't give me that same vibe. As much as I like my 15 Pro, I don't feel like it feels as luxurious as the other ones did. Sure, it's nice to be a little bit lighter, not having to hold as much weight, but sadly it is the case that it still makes it feel a little bit less premium. Now though, for what everyone is here for, let's go over that quick sound test before we jump into anything else. For me personally, this keyboard was the first ever keyboard that I have built. Now, does it mean that I am absolutely amazing at building keyboards? No, because some people would probably say this is cheating as it doesn't require any form of soldering. So obviously, if you are someone who believes that you need to solder, then this may not be the keyboard for you. But for anyone who wants to get into building keyboards and just learning and doing that sort of thing and just learning how the interior process works, either take apart your own keyboard if you're willing to, but also if you were to buy something like this, it allows you to have a easy guide to getting into it. It's kind of like building Legos, but for a keyboard. It's absolutely superb. And for anyone who watched any of my prior videos about keyboards, you would know that I tried out the Keychron Q1, which was really nice. It's a nice build, and especially for £200, it's definitely worth the money. It's really nice and luxury. For anyone who just wants a really nice, more budget-friendly mechanical keyboard that sounds great and has that premium feeling, then I would highly recommend going for something like the Q1. However, before that, I had the Keychron K2, the very entry level into mechanical keyboards. It sounded decent enough. It was made out of plastic instead. However, again, it was really nice, but then I spilt hot chocolate on it. A very sad day. Spilt it on that and on my desk. Wasn't great fun, so I ended up looking at building this. Then this had some delays. So I'll talk about some of the actual, other areas. So there was logistics issues, so it is, to be fair to Mode, not necessarily their issue. It was that a shipping port in where their stuff comes from had a 2-week delay, but then my product was bordering a month late, which is a little bit annoying as it does cost a lot of money, and it took me reaching out to them to get any response, which was a bit disheartening for me personally, considering the amount of money you spend on these things. You feel like that should be a part of the give and take. So when it comes to this keyboard, the 3 main takeaways are: it weighs a lot, it sounds very nice, and it looks really great. Not only is it very minimal style that I personally love, one thing that I can't wait to do down the road is actually start looking into, modifying it a bit more, messing around with the inside. And this is one of the key things that I would say is great about building your first ever keyboard, is that you kind of learn a bit more about how the interior of your keyboard works. It no longer makes me feel this hesitation towards opening up my keyboard or other keyboards in the future, because I now know this is how this works. I know that this is how the layout of it works. I'm no longer questioning whether or not I'm going to open it up and instantly start breaking it. I now know if I open this up, I'm like, okay, cool. I was doing this just a couple of weeks ago. Now let's mess around with some bits and we can put it all back together. It's no longer something that's going to freak me out as much as it once would have. So for most people, I would probably recommend going for something like the Keychron Q1. However, if you do want to have that experience of building your first ever keyboard, you don't want to be soldering, and you also just want to learn so that you can do other things down the line, like soldering eventually, then I would highly recommend going for something like this, as yes, it's expensive, but honestly, I would say it's worth the money in how well produced this thing is, and how well it sounds, how well it feels, and everything about it. It's absolutely superb, and it makes you feel like you are actually getting a premium product. And with that all being said, hopefully you did enjoy this video. I'm really sorry that I haven't been uploading the last few weeks. It is pretty annoying. I'm pretty, sad on myself. However, it is the case that I had to focus primarily on the Exiled channel, because that channel is where my money comes in. I need to focus on, strengthening that up even more. So yes, it is the case that I'm going to be trying to upload every single week over here. My aim is to do so. I had some mess arounds. I was trying to make videos back at the beginning of the month. Then we went away. Then I was ill, and then I couldn't get a haircut. Now I can get a haircut. So now we're here. So hopefully you did enjoy this video. If you did, make sure to leave a like and do subscribe for more content down below. And also for anyone who is interested in using things like any form of music, anything like that, I have an Epidemic Sound link down below if you want to check it out. Helps me out, gives me, I believe, like a month for free, something like that. Don't fully remember, but yeah, let me know down below if you are interested in me seeing anything else in the future or checking out any other products. Let me know which ones you'd be interested in, and I'll see you in the next one. Have a good one.